I want to thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real with America's Supermom. I am excited about my next guest, Nathaniel Wilkins. We actually got connected on LinkedIn, and we're here to talk about aging. All right. So many of us don't want to talk about aging. It is something we try to cover up, especially us women. We hide behind the makeup and, some of the body shapewear, just saying. But we're here to talk about that topic. But before we get into that, I want to give Nathaniel the opportunity to introduce himself.
Hey, hi, Nathaniel Wilkins. I live here in Miami, and
Hmm.
that's my little dogs that I told you about that's having their way. But live here in Miami and sort of been involved with this whole active ageless movement for the better part of 7 to 10 years. And so I always tell people that I'm in the race to reach 100.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm 66 years young.
Oh, I
And
love it.
yeah, so on a crusade to share and find like-minded people who want to be what I call active aging. That means that we are taking care of ourselves no matter what the issues may be. So for me, when the pandemic hit, and long before pandemic hit, listen,
Hmm.
I had PTSD, losing jobs, dealing with situations with family members dying, disease, and what have you. So that sort of took a toll on me. But then the other stuff that I've been dealing with, because aging sort of takes a toll on you,
Hmm.
and it depends on how you manage that. So heart issues and blood pressure and
Mhm.
all those things sort of brought me to a place where I didn't want to depend on medicine so much. I wanted to find new ways. And hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk about that as we go into this conversation about aging. Make sense?
Absolutely. And I'm all ears, okay? Because so many people, the first thing I would say is because we had to make so many drastic changes, from being face to face to being behind technology, this is a big elephant that a lot of people are afraid to face about tech issues. And normally we hide behind, what, these young kids are on this, they're on that social media. I'm old school. That's usually something that we use as a defense about changing or, being flexible about some of our ways. So what would you say is the biggest problem that you find for people when it comes to switching their mindset about aging actively?
Yeah, so I think that the number one thing, and I've talked to a number of people about this. I think the number one thing has to do with a certain sense of confidence, a certain amount of sort of attitude and overall growth mindset. You know, we sometimes struggle with aging, but here's the thing. What would you rather do, age or would you rather not age? What's the real alternative?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so we have to learn how to age gracefully, right? We have to learn how to take care of ourselves and manage our issues and keep on going. So I think that somewhere we need to have like what I call a come to Jesus meeting and
Mhm.
deal with our own, sort of, insecurities about this aging process. It is, to me, it is a beautiful thing to get to this place. I have some friends that I grew up with that are not here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost some younger people in my life. So I think that what it's allowed me to do is understand that the Creator has some additional work that she wants me to do.
Amen. So, you mentioned that you have friends or family or, just as you see people around you in general passing away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the things that you're saying are kind of radical. You know what I mean? You just definitely not a lot of people embrace, actively aging or growth mindset. So, what are some things that you do to kind of protect that philosophy for yourself? Because I'm sure it's something that you get a lot of pushback with on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, so and I'm all right with that. At this point in my life, I can look at people and tell them that that's okay. That's them, and this is me, right? Because
Hmm.
here's the thing for me. This is what God has endowed me with or blessed me with, and so I can't worry about whether they agree with it or not, because I need to walk that path. Because here's the long and short of it. When I get done, and I believe that there's some place that I'm going to, and I need to answer for what I've done with what I have. And so I just want to make sure that I hear, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I want to be used up when I leave here, right? I want to have used everything. So I don't worry about that. But here's the thing. I exercise. I try to get in an exercise program every day. And so the other thing is I'm up really early. By 6 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, man, I'm at a boxing program, and then I go and do my other work, and so I'm reading and listening and understanding, trying to keep my mind fresh, right? Because
Hmm.
one of the problems that I'm running into is I forget sometimes where I put my keys. Sometimes I can have things in my hand and go look for them. So I need to work on my mind, right? I need to keep my mind sharp because I still need to do.
Amen.
I don't know if I'm making sense to anybody, but you
That
know,
is so true. I mean, hey, we all deal with that. I live by a paper calendar. I write everything down because, hey, if it's not written down, it may not happen. Okay. Because I just have a million and one things to juggle. So I get that working on the mindset. So, what was it that really took place for you to have this line of thinking? Because, there are things that kind of imprint us. We have those aha moments that really make it a lifestyle change for us and not just something that we do temporarily. So most people, when it comes to eating, they're following a diet, but then, they get off the diet horse and go on to something else, or the different types of exercise. CrossFit might be popular, and then it's Zumba and all these other things. But what was it that really transformed your mindset that to get you where you are today?
well, and like anybody else, and I can tell you that it always seems to end or come out to be this way. Some challenges, right?
Hmm.
And for me, health challenges. Um, feeling pain in my chest and having sense enough to go to the doctor, to the hospital, and then them telling me that something was going on.
Hmm.
That was pretty serious. But then I have some of those issues in my family, right? And a number of us don't know that, but I knew it, and so I had the sense enough to go get it checked, and so out of that ICU, and and I had one visit with a cardiologist after I got out of the hospital. And I didn't like the way the medicine was making me feel. I didn't like the nitroglycerin. I didn't like the blood pressure. I didn't like the cholesterol medicine. So I had to come up with an alternative method to heal myself. And that's when I started walking, started, exercising. I got into teaching classes in health, wellness, and fitness. And then later on, exploring even more about what is actually going on and understanding how movement is actually medicine, and how what I was putting in my body, the processed foods, hanging out with my friends, drinking alcohol all times of the
Hmm.
night and not getting enough sleep, all of the stress related stuff, just getting into the wrong situations. And so that is, what prompted me to do it. But then the other thing I'll tell you is that I started to see a whole lot more of me. And I used to laugh about it, right? I used to say the
Hmm.
clothes were getting small, and when it was me getting bigger, right? And so I
Mm.
have I have photos of me with a jolly face, and so I can actually plot the difference between myself 10, 15 years ago and today. I think I'm
Mm,
looking a whole lot better. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm looking good, talking good, smelling good, doing good things. I mean, so I'm just having a good old time of it. So yeah,
mm,
that's what brought me into a better understanding about living a better quality of life and taking my life back. That's what we're talking about, is
mhm,
taking your life back and doing
mhm.
what's necessary to live the life you want to live.
I love that. And and it comes with a lot of changes. I love how you said movement is medicine. I
Mhm.
mean, these are the kind of mind shifts that a lot of people need to take into account because you can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. And a lot of it starts with the habits
Mhm.
and the processes that we have that are just kind of subliminal and work on autopilot. So
Mhm.
when you do disruptive terminology and things like that, that makes you stop and take notice of the things that you're doing. So in taking your life back, talk to us about some of the hard choices you had to make because I know I struggled with depression for 13 years.
Mm.
And, that looked like me not having the same friends that I had or spending the same amount of time with them because the things that they were doing and the way that I was thinking, it just didn't serve me anymore. There
Oh,
was just a difference. So, what were some of the things that you had to
you
uh, do?
you trying to read my book or something? You talking about that? I had to let some people go. Some people that because they weren't going anywhere and they didn't want me to
Right.
go anywhere. So they
Mhm.
and I used to call these people my friends. And
Mhm.
as soon as I got into a situation, say I lost a job or something, a position that I was at, that I couldn't find them. But when everything was going well, they were around and we were eating chicken, and drinking beer, and sometimes we even got involved with some of them other people like Jack Daniels and
Mhm.
all of these other sort of things that can cause you problems in your body.
Mhm.
Um, but so I had to give up some of that, and then I had to look at my other habits. Staying up late, that and trying to watch so much television. So I might have to cut back on television, and in some instances not at all. I had to learn how to read some more to actually work on my brain and to get me into places that would allow me to feel better about myself. And we're talking about falling in love with myself, because
Mhm.
sometimes when you are in a bad situation, your health is not well. You don't look the part that you want to look, and so when you talk about depression, that comes sort of enters into it, and so this mental health stuff that or fatigue that people are talking about. I had my share of it, and so I had to talk to somebody. There's no harm in getting mental health counseling and understanding that you need that. So I had to talk to some people to help me get through some of these challenges. And so
Mhm.
all of that together is what I use and what I continue to use to move through the process of becoming the person that I want to become.
I love that because, and it takes work. I think that's the thing that a lot of people they look at your pictures and, they just think it was just some rosy experience where it's like, woo, now you're the weight that you want to be or you have the habits that you want to have and people just don't know about the journey.
Hmm.
So, what are some things that you do, just in normal day with your habits that help you to maintain, this philosophy and stop, the autopilot type of things from coming back.
Yeah, like I said, I get up early because
Mhm.
getting up early gets me started and allows me to get my mind together around what it is that I need to do. I get outside, I
Mhm.
walk. I want to make sure that I get sunlight um,
Mhm.
and some fresh air to clear my mind. And then, of course, the workouts that I do, I need to have a workout. And I'm not talking about the kind that people go and work on muscles. While I love to have muscles and I love to look good, what I'm really working on is my mental health and my overall well-being. So sometimes when I'm frustrated, I go to a boxing class and I'm going there to hit that bag to get rid of my frustrations, to get rid of my anger, and to work on my emotional intelligence. So I need to be more in control of me. But then the other thing is taking a look at the nutrition, and I'm not talking about diet. What I'm talking about is eating clean and eating the proper foods that serve me well. So here's the deal: that what goes on into the mouth goes into the stomach, but also goes into the brain. So food actually controls mood, and then the gut is a part of that. And so for me to become the Nate Wilkins that I'm looking to become, I need to manage that. So I need to make sure that Oreos and potato chips don't take advantage of me when I go into the store. That when I see some chocolate cake, although I love chocolate cake, maybe I don't need to eat the whole cake. Maybe I just need to eat a piece of it. Because here's the deal: if you eat a piece the same, it tastes the same as eating a whole cake or eating a whole
Right.
slice of cake. So why you got to
Right.
eat it all? And then the other thing,
Right.
break some of my old habits. I come from a family that we didn't leave much food on the plate. My grandmother
Right.
made me eat everything that was on the plate, or I'd have it the next day. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up having to eat, and then come Thanksgiving and Christmas, man, we used to eat crazy, just eat and then go to sleep. And so now what I'm trying to do is learn how not to eat so much and to eat some more
Mm-hmm.
green stuff, and make sure that I'm putting the good stuff in before I put the bad stuff in. So let me be quick and say that there is no stretch of the imagination that I don't try to live a life that allows me to live a life and not be so dramatic with it and not fanatical. What I'm talking about is managing my life such that I'm happy with who I am, making sure that I'm around the people that can help me grow and not those who are going to hold me back. So it's a whole process. It's talking about developing the whole person, and that is an up and down process. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, sometimes I go to restaurants and some food just called my name. Uh,
I feel you. Yeah. We've all been there.
but I hope I'm helping somebody today, right?
You are doing good. Now, so for those of us that are watching, right? What are some small things that we can do today to improve our nutrition? So you mentioned eating clean and healthy, because one of the things I had a stepbrother who passed away at the age of 40 for congestive heart failure. And they told him he had to modify his diet, and it was
Mhm.
all like everything he was used to eating, from ketchup to canned goods and things like that. So, a lot of people just don't know how to eat. You don't know what you don't know if you've been doing it, like you said, for years. So, what are
Mhm.
some things that, might be low hanging fruit that we can implement today that is something easy that they can start with?
Well, drink some more water. Because
Amen.
sometimes when we think that we are hungry, we
Mm-hmm.
really are thirsty. And then the other
Mm-hmm.
thing is that we drink water, maybe it'll fill us up even more, and so we don't have to eat as much. And sometimes we don't get enough exercise. And so we need to do exercise. And I'm talking about not strenuous stuff. I'm talking about maybe going out for a walk. Um, and maybe I'm talking about brisk walking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then sort of taking a look at the way you eat, right? So I was talking earlier, put the good stuff in first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of us are vegans, vegetarians, and we all have all these different types of diets. And I'm saying that, it's important that you eat the way that it works for you. Not
Mm-hmm.
all of us are the same way. So perhaps we can look at cutting back and not eating till we're full. Maybe we eat to about 80% and see how that fits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then maybe we have some times where we allow ourselves to eat pizza if we like pizza, to eat some fried chicken if we like fried chicken. Not always, right? So
Right.
maybe it's the little stuff, right? It's the little bitty changes, not the big changes that we make. Because what we find is that when we try to change really fast, that
Mm-hmm.
changes don't happen. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to do it within our own capacity and be honest with ourselves. And so if you are going out and you like to have a certain meal, and you end up eating that meal, and then you turn around and beat yourself up for eating that, then you've not done anything good for yourself. So learn how to celebrate, learn how to reward yourself in certain ways, and just understand that you have to have some compassion for yourself because you didn't get here overnight. So you're not going to change it overnight. Little bitty steps, getting the good stuff in, getting the sleep, getting the water. If you're taking some medication, try to take the medication. But what I'd like to do is try to move us away from medication. We'll talk about that another
Amen.
time if you want to.
Amen.
But
I'm with you on that.
yeah, but really just sort of managing it to a place that it helps you. And if you fall off, there's 1,000 times that we could say, so sorry, get back up and try it again. That you just don't stay down, you get back up and you keep on each time, and you make a little bit more progress each time. And then you reward yourself and treat success and failure the same. They're imposters.
Mm. Now that's something you need to explain.
Well,
Success and failure are the same. They're imposters.
yeah, they trick you the same way. If you have some success, then you start to feel so good that you go do something wrong, and then you back at
Right.
failure, right? Yeah, I mean that's like anything else in life, and so you can't celebrate too long, and then you have to also, after you become successful, you have to set a new goal, and that's where so in the church vernacular, religious vernacular, they say for every level there's a new devil, and so you have to
Nice.
learn how to meet those things, and deal with them such as they are, because they're all built there to open up and to move you to a new place. And until you're willing and come to grips with that you are moving into a new place and don't quit, that you keep on making adjustments, readjusting and readjusting, you'll reach that level of success and you'll be back at that place that perhaps you may fail again. And then you readjust and readjust and you keep getting back up. And that's how you get to the ideal weight, the ideal health. But really taking responsibility and being accountable for who you want to be and who you say you're going to be. I hope this makes sense. This is making
That's
sense.
making sense. I'm like, look, I'm over here taking notes. I'm trying to, stay focused, but I'm like, some of these sayings that you have, I'm just like, it's getting my attention. So I love that because,
Mhm.
these are kind of things that, it's like you can tell somebody years worth of knowledge just from one sentence that you say. You know
Sure.
what I mean? It's some deep stuff. So,
Mhm.
um, I love this whole discussion because it's so much about the personal accountability, about how as we take care of ourselves, we're coming from a better place of being able to give more to others. So talk to us about, the balance or harmony between it all. Because, there is that sense that everybody can want what you have and you want to give and things like that, but knowing the right kind of uh way to gauge that when it comes to your business, personal, that type of thing.
Hmm. So I think that what you're saying is we need to find balance in all that we do, and if
Mhm.
we're off balance in one area, we may be off balance in other areas, you
Mhm.
know. And so until we can come to a understanding and look ourselves in the mirror, and learn to love ourselves where we are, right? That
Mhm.
you know if you see something in the mirror that you don't like, you say, well, I want to fix that, and I'm going to do XYZ to fix it. Change my eating, change my sleeping, change the people I associate with, review my goals and objectives, and not bite off so much. Then I think that we are able to get to that place of balance. And so the other thing about balance is that you can't do always work and not take some time out to renew, right? To maybe sit back and assess what you've done, and how you've done it, and what else do I need to do. And I'm talking about with goals and objectives with life, and also with managing our health and wellness. So I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying is that managing our health and wellness, and I'm not talking about managing just the weight or managing the fat. I'm talking about the total person. If you don't fix this, if you don't fix your mental capacity, right, you will eat because you have something that's triggering that. You'll eat sugar, and sugar will make you, more sugar. And then you'll be sorry about that because you're not accomplishing what have you. So you got to get the mental together first, and then you work on the physical. And here's the other thing that I would share with you: the manifestation actually happens on the inside of the body first, and then you see it on the outside of your body. You don't see it outside. And the other thing is, people say, I heard somebody say the other day, I need to get rid of my stomach. Well, the way you get rid of your stomach is to close your mouth, stop eating so much. Push away from the table when you see a lot of bread and and all kind of carbohydrates and all that stuff. So that's a way and it's not ab work necessarily. You got to put it all together. So it's again this balance of managing exercise, managing sleep, managing what you put in your mouth, managing the people that you hang around. And here's the last thing I would tell you is that you got to make sure that you bring in your house the stuff that you want to eat, because if you bring it in or if somebody else brings it in, you're going to eat it, or somebody else that's in the house is going to eat it. And so you gotta look at it from that perspective. And I would say that you can't clean it up all at once because you'll slip out and do it. That's what I used to do when I used to smoke cigarettes, right? I used to say I didn't want to smoke cigarettes. I'd throw the cigarettes away and then go buy a new pack of cigarettes. go to McDonald's and try to order the salad, and then when I didn't like the salad so much, I could be some French fries because I loved McDonald's French fries. I don't know if anybody can relate to all this crazy
They
stuff.
can relate. They can relate. Okay. I'm sure they can. So I love that. And, we just need to be open to some of the things that we want to do, because you mentioned a good point. Like, let's just even say your route home from work, you get caught up in, oh, or every time you go to work, you stop at Starbucks or whatever place that is, they know you're a regular. And so, sometimes when you decide to eat differently, all that needs to be taken in consideration. You might have to drive a different way to work because those triggers are just like out of habit and routine, that you
Oh,
do things that sometimes you may not even want a coffee or want whatever it is. But because you're used to doing things a certain way, you fall into that category.
oh yeah, it takes willpower. That's what
Mm-hmm.
back again to, even if you're talking about depression or anything else, this willpower thing. Some stuff you just need to try to find a new way to stay away from, because it's got your that sugar and flour and the snacks, man, um, calls your name. And I don't care who you are, the minute you eat one thing, you're gonna be looking for more. So then you're gonna you eat a potato chip, or you eat a hamburger, and you eat a lot of bread and all that stuff, or you, like you said, going to Starbucks. When I see Starbucks, I go another way. I don't even go near the place because I know what's going to happen. And then
Right.
then the other thing is like Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, I don't know what it is they put in there, but um,
They
it would
call
make
your name,
you,
huh?
yeah, it would make you go get one. And
Right.
a lot of times people buy the biggest ones they can get, the big gulps. You know what
Exactly.
I'm talking about, and try
Yeah.
to get all too.
Yeah.
Or you get a big old plate of food and then you get a diet diet drink.
A diet drink or drink some water.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay. I get you.
and that's gonna make a difference. Or here's what some people do. They look at themselves and then they go exercise. And this is the kind of time of year for that to happen. These New Year's
Hmm.
resolutions, people have made them, and about now, what is it, March 2nd? And by now, the place is gonna close down because nobody's going to
Exactly.
work out.
Exactly.
So working out is not
Exactly.
necessarily what's going to change your body, right? You have to change your mind, change your mindset, change your the way you do things, and over time, with all of those changes. On a serious note, I've been joking a little bit, but on a serious note,
Hmm.
um, making sure you get the right amount of sleep, making sure you get your, if you're on medication, take it the right way, and talk to your doctor, get to know your doctor. You become your own healthcare advocate. You don't leave that in somebody's hands. After 15 minutes and somebody's checking you out, they can't possibly know what's good for you. So, and a lot of times they give you one medicine and then it causes some problems in another one. You taking 15 to 20 different medicines trying to fix what you could be fixing on your own by the way you change what you eat, to change the people you associate with, what you think, what you
So
say,
true.
all that kind of stuff. So if you fix you, if you step back and quit being so involved with what the television tells you or what somebody else is doing, and you understand and get to know yourself a little bit better, I think you can solve some of your healthcare issues. At least that's
So
what
true.
I'm working on myself, uh, at,
Amen.
at this ripe young age.
I tell you, that's the whole thing is self-awareness. And mindset is so important because we have a lot of power with our words. So I love
Sure.
that you say 66 years young, because if you don't believe that, who is? Because everybody else can tell you something different. But we begin to act on what we believe for ourselves. And that's part of self-management is believing that I can keep going. I don't have to give up. I'm not a statistic or whatever it is that we want to tell ourselves. So I just want to thank you for all your insight and wisdom. So, what is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so social media, right? The
Hmm.
Ageless Workout on Instagram, Facebook, the Ageless Workout. I am on. I have a website, www.agelessworkout.com.
Hmm.
So those are the sort of basics. Um, and then if you want to write me, it's nate@agelessworkout.com, and I answer back, incidentally. So you didn't ask me, but I have three different books about leadership and success on Amazon. The Now
Hmm.
Factors for Success, Beyond the Now Factors for Success, and Success Factors Now. It's a three book series. It's Kindle, and then I'm working on a few other books. And these things came out because of my time with COVID. Rather than sitting to twiddle my thumbs and wait for the check and what have you, whenever I got a check, I put the money toward a laptop so I could continue to do things. And then I started to do podcasts. That's how podcasts came out because I wanted to meet some new people and do some new things, take a new direction. And then I started to write. You didn't ask me that, but I just thought that I would share that with the ladies out
Absolutely.
there. I
And
take
I
time
think it's
and
it
sit
is
and wait.
it's so important because that's the whole thing about taking the lemons that were served and making lemonade out of them,
True.
and not just making lemonade but making an enterprise. Okay, because if you have a book, that's something that can last for a lifetime. That's a legacy. That's residual income that you can use to speak to be on different stages and have an impact in your community, going to community services, organizations and things of that nature. So I really want to commend you for such an accomplishment because, we need more leaders and trailblazers. And that's what it's all about. You can't wait for that perfect opportunity because the whole thing about being a leader is creating an opportunity out of the situations that you're faced with. So I just want to say thank you so much for your insight. And
My
for
pleasure.
those of you, yeah, for those of you guys that are watching, I encourage you to reach out to Brother Nathaniel and buy his books. Check on Amazon and see what he has to offer because this is how we change ourselves. It's changing the people that pour into us. If you find that you're not liking where you are, think about who you're hanging around, what they're telling you, and get with people who resonate with you or you see the potential in you being better because of their mentorship and tutelage. So, thank you so much, Brother Nathaniel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I've enjoyed myself. Let me know how I can help you going forward.
Awesome. Well, I just want you to give the audience a final word of what you want to leave them with. What would you share with everybody?
Here's the deal. When you get what you want and you struggle for self and the world's made you king and queen for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the mirror has to say. For it isn't your father, mother, brother in life whose judgment upon you must pass, but the person whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back in the glass. You may fool the world over down through the pathways of life and get pats on the back as you pass, but your most fondest rewards will be heartaches and tears if you cheat the person in the glass. Don't cheat yourself. Go for it. Take better care of yourself. Believe in yourself and find some new direction.
Love that. I'm telling you, I'm going back and watching this replay. I got a lot of nuggets to write down. So this has just been wonderful. So thank you so much. So glad that we connected. Anything I can do to serve you, but it sounds like you might need to come back and give us some more insight, with things that we could do. I mean, there
And
is no excuse. I love it. You're 66 years young. We got plenty of time to be able to pour into other people and for those of them that want it. You know what I mean?
anytime, anytime. Glad to
All
help.
right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and reach out to Brother Nathaniel and we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye
All
for
right.
now.
Bye.